Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing something I've never done before. It's a story time video, and I'm going to try really hard not to cry because this story is like really emotional for me. So I'm going to be telling you the story about my first cat, Fluff. And yeah, I know that's kind of a silly name, but she was a really fluffy cat. And so basically, my dad's allergic to cats, and my sister's slightly allergic to cats. So non-allergenic cats are really, really, really expensive. Now, one day, this one ginormous gray fluffy cat started coming to our house. And we're just like, okay, so she's the neighbor's cat. And so we pet her, and we just hung out with her, and she was extremely sweet. And this was before we got our dog. And so she was nice. She never bit anyone. And oh my gosh, she was the loudest purr to ever exist. She sounded like a motorcycle. Like my grandpa has a Harley Davidson. Try that on a cat, and you pretty much understand how loud she was. But, so basically, she had been coming around our house for a while, and it was maybe 3 months. 3 months had come by, and we're just like, oh, she's a really sweet cat. And so we started giving her food. And I know you aren't really supposed to give cats food, especially if they're like the neighbor's cat, as we thought she was. But we gave her food anyways. And she started just chilling at our house more often. And a few more months went by, and every day she'd be there. She'd come lay with us. She'd wait for us to get home. She'd just sit there, and she'd be the happiest, sweetest little cat ever. Actually, I guess she wasn't really that little. But, so, it came to the point that we're just like, we really want to adopt her. Because we had realized she is a non-allergenic cat. Which is really, really expensive, like I had previously mentioned. Like, we have standard poodles. They are more expensive than our standard poodles. And so, basically, we're like, we want to adopt her. So, we go next door, across the street to our neighbor, and I guess that would be not next door, but whatever, details. And we're like, we really want to have this cat. Is she yours? And it turns out that she was a stray. And we asked, and we're like, wait, so how long has she been a stray? Has she always been a stray, or did she ever have an owner? And he told us that she had had an owner once upon a time, and that family, like, their house caught fire, and most of them didn't make it. So they left town, and Fluff had not, like, they didn't know where Fluff was, so they left her. And she had just been an outside cat. Like, she was very sweet, and they loved her, but because of the experience, they left her. So we're like, oh my gosh, we never knew this. And so we took her in. We let her into the house, and we like officially named her Fluff. We had been calling her Fluff or Fat Cat or something. I know that sounds really mean, but she was a ginormous cat. She was a bit overweight. And so we took her into the house, and she loved it. She loved being in the house, and she was so sweet. And we had actually been talking about getting dogs at the time, but Mom and Dad are like, okay, we don't really need dogs if we have a cat, because the cat will fight with the dogs. So we're just like, okay, we love the cat and all this stuff. So we had let her into the house, and about 3 days later, Mom scheduled an appointment to take her into the vet because we needed to make sure she was healthy and all that stuff. So we went and we had her blood tested, and she was getting groomed and all that stuff. And Mom came home, and I'm just like, are we going to go get the cat? she didn't really tell me anything, but we got in the car and we drove down. Oh my gosh, I'm trying so hard not to cry. And we drove down there, and I'm sorry guys if I start crying, I'm so sorry. We drove down there, and Mom looks at me in the car and she goes, "We have to put Fluff down." And I'm just looking at her in bewilderment and like, wait, why? Why do we have to put our cat down? And this was right before we were about to go on a big trip, and we were going to leave Fluff with my aunt, and my aunt was going to watch her for a little while until we got back, and it would be maybe like a 2-week trip, because we were going to go visit our grandma and grandpa. And so we go into the office, I'm like tearing up and just like, I don't know, I'm like horrified that we have to put our cat down because I loved Fluff. And oh my gosh, I'm starting to cry. And I really loved her, and she was my first like actual pet. Like, sure, we've watched our grandparents' dogs, but she was like ours. And we get in there, and Mom explains that she has somehow, we don't know how, but she has feline AIDS, which it's like, it can't be given to humans, can't be given to dogs, but it can be given to other cats. And my aunt had a bunch of other cats, and also, like, it was the choice between let her live and let her suffer, or put her down and let her be happy and like not suffer. And so we're there, and oh my gosh, I'm sorry, and she doesn't know what's happening. She doesn't know at all, and she's purring, I'm petting her, and oh, I'm so sorry, and I'm petting her, and she doesn't know what's gonna happen, and I'm like, this is the last time I'm gonna see my cat. And so she's taken to the back of the office, and Mom takes us home, and like, I cry for a really, really long time because I really loved her. And like, Dad came in and comforted me, and as you can tell, anytime I tell this story, I start crying. But I really do miss her, and I'm glad that I had the time I did with her. And the air just started behind me. But I'm glad that I had the time I did with her, and I just want to say that I'll always love her. And I'm thankful for the dogs that I have now, and we just got a new cat, and her name is Cheeto. And thank gosh, her test came back positive, so here's our dog.
She's my doggo.
It's 2 doggo.
She's my other doggo.
And then if we go downstairs, we
Cheeto.
get Cato.
Are you the catto? Are you the new one? The very fluffy, cute one? Oh, I love you.